Hi guys, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel. On this channel it's going to be all things beauty related, so makeup, skincare, and different news that's happening within the beauty industry. So for my first video, I wanted to do an everyday makeup look that I would just wear if I were to go out to the mall or run a quick errand or something like that. So nothing too crazy, but a little bit more than just like a tinted moisturizer. Okay, so I already have my skin prepped, and what I used to finish prepping aside from toner, I used this Andalou Perfecting Cream. It's like a age-defying kind of thing, and I have really dry skin, so a lot of the moisturizers that are found at Sephora just don't work for me, so I use this. It's from like a natural health food store, and yeah, it really works great. It's really thick and nice. And something that I've been using for the past week is this advanced Snail 96 Mucin as a serum. I'll probably provide an update on that in the next couple weeks, but I of course followed the trend. Late to the trend, but I'm still following the trend and seeing if it works for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is use a primer now that my skin is prepped, and this is the MAC Studio Radiance Moisturizing Illuminating Silky Primer. Okay, that's a lot. I feel like my mouth is like full of marbles just saying that. But I really like this because it has collagen in it, so it's tricking me to believe that it's doing a lot more than probably what it is. So I'm using some of that. And I'm just using it in some prime areas all over my face here. Just like this. Okay, so now that we have the primer, if I were to actually be going out, I would be using sunscreen on top of this. And my go-to sunscreen is the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen. I really like that one. There's no white cast, and it leaves your skin completely matte, which is awesome. So now we're gonna go in with foundation, and this is a foundation that I've been really loving recently. And it's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint, and I wear shade 13. I love this because I used to be like a real cake face kind of girl. Like I would love like that Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, and if you know, you know that is insane coverage. I didn't need a lot of coverage back then, and I don't know if I even need it right now, but I love this skin tint because it's light, but it's also buildable, and I like to build. So we're gonna go in with this foundation, and then we're also gonna place it a bit down the neck. And it looks like a lot, but it's only because I'm putting a lot. So putting that on my nose everywhere. And then next thing I'm going to use to blend this is my beauty blender, and it is quite dirty, so don't follow me on this. Make sure to always clean your brushes and everything. So I'm going to go in with my little fancy mirror here, start blending that out. And I want to know what you guys think of this Danessa Myricks brand. It's so popular. She has so many yummy skin balms, serums, everything. So I'm a huge fan, but I want to know what kind of products you guys have from her and how you really feel about it. Do you love it? Do you have some trouble with it? Let me know in the comments below. And one thing I'm gonna peep to you guys here is just dragging it down the neck a bit because I hate a mask. So we're whirling that down. One thing that I did on purpose is leave out the under eyes when I did this foundation because it's a simple everyday look, so I don't want a ton of coverage. I mean, I do, but I don't want it to look crazy. So if I were to go out for like a date night or like a job interview or something like that, I put the foundation underneath my eyes, and then I'd put the concealer on top for extra coverage and like that extra beat look. But because I'm just doing like an everyday makeup look, I'm leaving that blank and I'm just gonna put the concealer. So, time for the concealer. And this is a new concealer that I bought. This is from Danessa Myricks again. I kind of wanted to do like a full face of hers, but I mean, prices were adding up, girl. Like, so I have this. It's the Lift and Flex Concealer, which there's a ton of good reviews on Sephora. And I'm in the shade number 12. And so I'm just gonna dot this here. I'm gonna try and do it like the TikTok girlies and put a little bit in the corner and a little bit at the end. I usually just like literally swipe it across. I love like that 2016, like that deep V of concealer and highlight. But I mean, I guess we're moving on. So let's try something different. Okay. So now that that's on, I'm gonna use the tip of this beauty blender and blend that out. And I'm not using, my beauty blender is not wet. I want a bit more coverage. I feel like if you want more coverage, you use it dry. And if you want a bit less coverage, even scaling to that dewy kind of look, then you can dampen it. I feel like it's maybe like a faux pas to even say that, because a lot of people are like, oh, you have to use a damp beauty blender. You have to use it wet. But like, not if I want a bit more of a coverage. Like, that doesn't work for me, girl. So I'm blending that out. And guys, this is the first time that I'm gonna be wearing this concealer. So what are we thinking with this eye so far? Okay, I'm kind of liking it. Like, I tested it, but of course you can't fully test it how you want to in the store, especially for concealers. It's like, it's not, like, it's a completely different color. I want to brighten my under eye, so I have to go with a shade that's like 1 or 2 shades lighter than my actual complexion. If you wanted to kind of conceal and correct, then you could get your own, like your foundation color as well, and use that concealer all around your face. But because I want it to be brightened, I have to go with a couple shades lighter. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty decent. What are we thinking here? I kind of like it. No? It's a little bit yellow. I have a yellow undertone. Like, I think that's pretty good. We're gonna leave it, and of course, as I say we're gonna leave it, I'm still blending it because we love a good blend here. Okay, I'll put it down. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to set the under eye. So I'm gonna use my old school Sacha Buttercup. It's like a yellow powder. It's really nice. I know there's a ton of new powders out, but I mean, back in the day, Jackie told me to get the Sacha Buttercup, and I listened, okay? And it works. So sometimes you don't want to rock the boat with things. And I'm using a little brush here. This one's from MAC, the 240S. I'm gonna just pick up a little bit here. But what I'm actually doing is I have this ready to go on my brush, just like this. But because I've been talking to you guys and looking down and looking around, I'm gonna go back with my beauty blender here. I'm gonna look up, make sure all the creases are out before I set it with the powder. Because if you just go in with powder and you're like, yeah, it's all good, guess what's gonna happen? All those creases you're gonna set with that powder. And we don't want that. We don't want that life. So I'm gonna put that powder, press it underneath. And I'm not even taking a lot. Like, I'm not baking or anything. Like, this is an everyday look, and we're trying to make sure that it lasts. So once again, I'm looking up, just like this. Getting that powder, making sure to look up again, and then setting that in. Just like that. Okay, and then we're also gonna go over the lids, because I don't know about you guys, but I get greasy lids. Do you guys notice that when you're doing your makeup, especially before you put on eyeshadow or anything? And heads up, there's no eyeshadow for this look. So, but still stay tuned. There's a really cute blush coming up next. Okay, so I'm gonna put that one down. Next, I'm gonna go in with a new blush from Danessa Myricks. This is her little quad set I just picked up, and I've been playing around with it and I really like it. So I'm actually gonna mix these two colors over here to get that kind of perfect look. So should I use my hands or should I use a brush? When I was playing around with it, I was using my fingers, but I'm like, should I use a brush? Okay, let's use a brush first and see if anything happens. It's a cream, so sometimes you gotta build that bear up. So let's see what happens with that. I'm gonna take another compact, get that little mirror going. Oh yeah, the brush helps. It's looking pretty good. So this is the lighter of the last two shades. I'm putting that on. But then what I really enjoyed is this last color as well on top of it. So I'm gonna go in, pick that one up as well, and then smile. Get those apples going, get that frame. Okay, and just to make sure it's not gonna be super like patchy or anything like that, I find with creams, it can go patchy if you don't blend it out properly. So as I'm putting this on, I see a little bit, so I'm going in with my finger, my nice warm finger, dotting that into place. And now it's warming into my skin just like that. Yeah, I'm really liking that mix. Okay, so I'm going in with the other side here. And I guess this is kind of like underpainting. And I'm using the cream. And then after, I want to go in with a powder. But I'll show you guys what the powder is right after this. You might be surprised, you might already have it in your essentials, but we're going in. Okay, so once again, that was the second to the last shade. Now I'm picking up right here, I'm picking up this darker shade, and just a little bit. I feel like a little bit kind of goes a long way, and you're just tapping it into the skin, right? And now I'm gonna use my finger, once again, put down the brush, use my finger, and I'm pressing it in even more just to warm it up with my skin even further. And what that does, it provides more of a natural kind of look. You want that kind of flushed face look. That's like the essentials of a blush. Looking alive, looking awake, looking flushed, and cute, nice, yeah. Okay, it's right up my alley. Okay, so now that we're done with the blush, I'm gonna go in with another powder to help to set my face. And this one is the Studio Fix Perfecting Powder, and I have the color Dark. And it's a loose powder, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you use a loose or pressed. I go back and forth. Whatever works, whatever gets the job done. And I'm gonna go in with one of these little Amazon puffs. These are so good, guys. Like, you have, like, this is one thing you should totally get. It just helps everything. So what I'm gonna do is get my mirror, see where I'm putting everything. So I'm gonna go in on my nose and the forehead. We're setting that into place. Okay, and then we're gonna pick up a little bit more powder. I'm running out, so it's like really gotta shake it out. Use it up. Okay, so I'm just going around the key spots that I know will get more oily throughout the day. Even though I have dry skin, like throughout the day, of course, you get a little bit oily. And I sweat as well too. I mean, I don't sweat, I like glisten, right? So we're putting that all over. And then I'm also not forgetting about the neck. So I'm bringing that right down the neck as well. I feel like this blush looks so wild on the viewfinder. Like, it's very shiny, but we're gonna go in with a nice powder and everything's gonna come together and look really, really nice. I mean, I hope. Like, is this my first rodeo? I mean, I don't know. Okay, so now that that's done, the blush that I promised you guys about. So this blush is from Juvia's Place, and it's the Saharan Blush Volume 2. The cover looks like this. I've had this for ages, so it looks a little bit grimy on the outside, but on the inside, look how fresh this is. Like, look at these colors. Like, come on. Like, what? Okay, so they're not playing around with their blush. So I'm gonna take a nice blush brush here. This one. I really like this. This one's actually from Morphe, and it's the E48 brush. And another kind of tip that I like to do is whenever I'm going in with a blush, a powder blush, you pick it up, but then you also pat it off on a little piece of paper towel. It's like, it's always harder to take away than it is to put on. So it's good to start slow and build your way up. So now, okay, now we're looking a bit more matted down, which is awesome. And we're just putting this on top of the blush, the very premise of that underpaint. I'm going in. By the way, guys, I don't think I said it, but the shade that I'm using is this one here. It's called Lena, and it looks like a really bright pink, but on my skin tone, it's perfect. Like, Juvia's Place is a black-owned company, if you don't know, and they really know how to work with like really dark and deep shades of skin tones, so I love that. And using it on the other side now. Okay. Okay, and how's this looking? I feel like this is looking kind of together, right? And I see people use a bit of like blush on their hairline and their perimeter. I mean, I'll do a little bit, okay? Like, I'll try, let's try it. Did it make a difference? I can't tell. But I mean, I'm doing it like babyish. Put a little bit on my bridge of my nose. Okay, I feel like that looks pretty decent. I mean, I don't want to look like Rudolph here, just trying to follow a trend. So we're treading lightly, guys. Okay, next thing I want to do is mascara. So the mascara that I've really been loving right now is this one. Is called MAC Stack, and I have like the mini version of it. I think the full size has like has a really nice packaging and like a bougie little ball in the middle. So if you don't see it in the store looking like this, that's probably why. This is the mini, and the full size has a different kind of look to it. So I'm gonna go in with this mascara like this. And I think it's just in like the deepest black that there is. I'm gonna go in, and I feel like you can't look not crazy when you're putting on mascara. Like the mouth open, everything. Should I just like block you guys from seeing this? Okay, now. Okay, putting that on. Yeah, so it like instantly adds so much volume. Look at that. Like this. And like this, like this, and like this. It's not even close. And then, so I'm just picking that up. But right before this dries, like a little hack that I have is, well, I'm sure other people do it too, but I don't know. So I've been doing this. I go in and chase it with a clean mascara wand, and it helps to really separate any clumps that may have accidentally formed, or if you put on maybe a little bit too much, this will help and clean it up and help to lift. And you just go in with like your finger and like really plump that up. Yeah. Okay, I like that. And we're gonna do the other side here. And what are your favorite mascaras, guys? I feel like, do you go high end, like a Dior kind? or do you use drugstore, or is it kind of like mid-level, like the MACs? What do you guys use? I'd love to know what's your favorite mascara, and also your thoughts on waterproof. This one is not waterproof, and I like what waterproof does. I like how it stays on, and I like how it helps to really lift a lot of people's lashes. But, I mean, so I'm told. I know it lasts a long time, but I hate taking it off at the end of the night. Like, that step is just, that is a lot to me. So I'm going and chasing it like this. Yeah. But if it was so easy to come off, I would probably just pick up waterproof as well. But because it takes like 24 hours to get off, I don't feel like doing that. Okay, so mascara is done. Once again, everyday look. We're not putting on fake lashes and all that jazz. We're just heading out the door, but a little bit more put together. So next, I'm gonna do brows. So I'm gonna take another spoolie just like this, and we're gonna brush up the brows, get that ready. And if I needed a compact mirror at any step, it's definitely this one. And, okay, so now that I've brushed that up, I'm gonna start at the very bottom here, right underneath the brow. I'm gonna go in. And guys, my eyebrows are actually microbladed. Like, someone's blown up my phone. Oh my gosh, it's my crush. Just kidding. So yeah, I'm filling in my brows. They are microbladed because without the microbladed brows, I'd literally have no brows. Like, you can't even see them. They look like they're blocked out, and it's not even a part of the trend. Like, it's crazy. But I'm happy that I have these brows now with some pigment in it. I mean, am I doing like the little hairs? I don't know. But let's see what happens here. Brows are always so tricky. I feel like it frames your face and does all the nice things, but it takes a lot of time to get it perfect how you want it. So I just combed it up once again. I feel like the spoolie is your best friend. It should be your best friend, because if you go in too much with your brow wax or anything like that, just use the spoolie and it really helps to set it back to the beginning. And the brow product that I'm using is the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Ebony. And I have the mini version of this as well. I feel like all of my products are like the mini products. I don't know why, but I don't know. I just love it. I guess eventually I'll get the big size because these are the products that I'm really, really loving, but yeah. We'll see. And just filling in front. Not like super stoked about how it's looking, but sisters, not twins. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that for right now. Okay. And one of the last tips that I'll be doing is putting more powder on. And this one is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, and the color that I use is Dark Deep. And it looks like this. It's kind of like a bronzy kind of color. So yeah, I guess like it looks kind of like too light and everything like that. It's perfect in the summertime. And it's getting really cold. We're like, right now we're in October, but I still want a bit of that summer kind of vibe. So we're heading in with this, just putting it all over the face and some of like those key areas. Just really getting that in here. And I'm going in, but it's not like a complete, huge, harsh swipe that I'm doing of this on my face. Like, I'm kind of just dotting it on all over my face and a little bit on my neck. Trying to bring everything together. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that looks pretty good. And last but not least are the lips. We gotta do the lips. And I actually prepped my lips beforehand, which is something that is really important. I find if you put some like Vaseline or like a chapstick on the beginning of your routine, like right when you're doing like the primer and all that stuff, or even before then, it really helps to get your lips moisturized so that it can take on whatever product that you're putting on, especially matte lipsticks and things like that. So what I'm going to be using first is this lip liner, and it's in the color Chestnut. It's this nice, rich, deep shade. So I'm going to go in with that color first, and then I'll show you what lip I'm going to put on, and you'll see how that works out. So I'm doing this here. Do you guys still overdraw your lips? Is that a thing? I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to try overdraw my lips just to see how it would look. I don't really need to, but it would be nice to try and see where it goes. See how poppin' my lips would be. Okay, now this. Okay. One more. I like to get every inch of the lips so it's not like cheating my lips. I want to get that full pout. I want everything in there locked and loaded. Okay. Now what I'm going to take is this MAC lip squirt in this green color. I don't know what it's called. Like 15 like squirt. It's the green shade. They all have like the different purples and blacks and things like that. When I was testing this out in the store, I noticed it had like a nice honey shade. The other ones didn't really do much on my lips, but I found this added like a nice little honey vibe to it because my lips are dark, so this helps to bring like a nice natural my lips but better, and the Chestnut really helps. Okay, so like watch, you'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on. You see what's happening? You can see like the honey glow coming out of it. And I'm literally putting a little bit because, to be honest, this applicator is kind of wild. Like, I feel like I wish it were on like, you can like dip it in with a lip wand, but it's fine. We're fine. It's like barely anything. I'm like what? Like look, like it looks so good. Like this is like the perfect like nice shade of brown, like for the dark skinned girlies. Like it just makes you pop so much. So like Chestnut and this green shade, like it's a game changer together. I'm sure I have like lipstick on my teeth. Just do one of these real quick. But like look how that looks. Like so good. But because I'm like kind of anal on like my final looks, I'm getting in a bit more of this loose setting powder, and I really want to like press in to make sure it's not like a ton of shine in the areas that I don't want it to be. So like the nose, like literally I left my nose like 5 minutes ago and it's already like shiny again. So I'm like, okay, thanks for helping out. So putting this all around, and it's in the areas that I spoke about. You're not going to be putting like a loose setting powder on your cheeks when you obviously want your cheeks to be popping, like a nice little dewy glow to it. So we're going to matte like the chin, the upper lip, the nose, right below the brow bone, and the forehead, the areas that get like the most shiny. Okay, and then we're done. This is the everyday face. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. I'm going to take out my clips to show the big reveal. How are we looking? Yeah. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed my very first video. If you really liked it, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe,